Hello, my name is Sharon Mukangaka. I am from Rwanda. I am currently based at Swiss Tropical Institute of Public Health. Today I'm here to tell you about this book that I just finished to read. It's called African Youth Battling for Education, and it has been written by Dr. Lamek Bonaventure Rwanda. I just happened to meet him, and the first thing he gave me is this book, and I really want to say it was such an inspiring book to me for these reasons. First of all, when I started reading the book, I thought it's just for secondary students and primary students, but it caught my attention because of the title. You remember, Battling for Education? But African youth who are battling for education. I happen to be this African youth. So many chapters in this book, but my insights are this. It really touched on all the basics, on the steps that a typical African student will go through to the level of finishing their studies. Personally, I could relate to this book because I studied in the same context that the author touched on. Being from Rwanda and the author is from Tanzania, I could relate. I could even relate on the examples, the type of education, the schools. For instance, the author talked about being to these public schools. I was in my country, I went to public schools, so I could really see the challenges between public schools and students who went to private schools. For me, I could relate much in the context. But I liked how the author really insisted on how students who didn't have much resources compared to their counter private students, how they can use their available resources around them. That includes their families, that includes their friends, that includes their teachers. So I remember also when I was young, honestly, I didn't know that those were resources. But when I was reading this book, I realized I had also those resources, but I didn't know. So I wish in my academic pathway when I was young, be it in primary and secondary, actually I could have read something like this, or I had known that there are those resources. So that's my first insight. But again, there was something really the author talked about reading, like he touched how students can really go ahead to seek for help. And I liked the chapter of where he touched about mentorship, like the role of a mentor. I really have to tell you that even me, I'm doing my master's, I still struggle to get a mentor. So I really want to tell these students who are still in their secondary schools not to give up, but the earlier you get a mentor, the better. But also to students who are really advanced in their careers doing their masters or their PhDs, I want to tell you that really this book is not too late to read. Why? Because I still think a mentor is someone you can have throughout your career. If you're in primary and your mother can be a mentor. Honestly, I was so impressed by how Dr. Lamek's mother was a motivation to structure his goal. He talks about these SMART goals and having a well-set goal, which to some people is normal, but to him, it took him throughout all his education and even when he became really a big man. So it's really a nice book. I would recommend it mostly for secondary students because the tools that the author highlighted are really important. The area you can adapt to these tools, like how to do a simple search, how to ask for help. If the simple help you think you don't need, he really touches all those aspects of seeking help to be able to improve your education. I really loved this book. Honestly, I loved it. And my simple review to it is that some of us who really found ourselves in the same situations as the author, like having struggles when we're young, family-wise, education-wise, you won't believe it, but personally this book also like like really healed my childhood struggles. Like I feel like I'm okay to move on while finishing my education. So please read it. It's a nice book. Thank you.